The Panthers are in must-win mode. Despite playing some solid hockey, they've come up short the last 2 games. The homestand rolls on against Ottawa tonight, a team battling to get back into the thick of things. The Senators scored a big win in Peter Horachek's coaching debut with the Panthers. Payback is possible now. And we are ready to go. Welcome, everybody. BB&T Center, a divisional matchup. Yes, the new divisions, the Panthers and the Ottawa Senators. And a pretty intriguing goaltending matchup brought to us, Billy, by BB&T.
And it's been a struggle for the ex-Panther goaltender Craig Anderson in the nets. He's allowed 4 goals in each of his last 4 starts and 4 more in 6 of his last 8. So giving up a lot of goals. Anderson under fire in Ottawa. Down to the other end, Tim Thomas, his 12th consecutive start, and they need a big performance from him. You're going to see new pads tonight for Tim Thomas. The red pads, in effect. He had the white ones before, so we'll see if the new pads are able to work some magic for the goaltender, Tim Thomas.
All right, Mike Motto back in the Panther lineup. Dmitry Kulikov a scratch. Gomez scratched, and Chris Barch back in there. And we're underway. Thomas Kopetsky skating, still not ready to come back yet. Senators break in. A quick save by Tim Thomas on Zach Smith. Goodbranson again paired up with Dylan Olsen. It's been a young, impressive pair back on the blue line for Florida. Winchester, the former Senator. Zach Smith controls, flips ahead for the veteran Chris Neal. Winchester, unfortunately for him, had about 30 friends and family that were ready to come to the game in Ottawa a few weeks ago. But he was suspended for that game. He was almost heartbroken. Now he gets a crack at his former team tonight here in South Florida. Panthers back home Thursday night when Olli Jokinen and the Winnipeg Jets come to town. They were already here, by the way, after that win last night over the Rangers in New York. Saw Coach Claude Noel up here in the press box. Kyle Turris looking to catch up to it. Bobby Ryan goes to the net. Oh, Brian Campbell got down and blocked that centering pass.
Good play by Campbell defensively, lying down. Huberdeau coming back strong on the back check. But Campbell with a strong defensive play to prevent that 2-on-1.
Here's a shot from Bjugstad, and Craig Anderson has his first save of the night.
And for Paul McLean and the Senators, it's been up and down. They come in losers of 2 straight, and he said simply, our team is not working hard enough. We have to play harder. And for Peter Horachek and the Panthers, he says, we just got to be able to cut down on the unforced errors. Too much unforced errors the last couple games. Also, the Panthers, a lot of chances. They have to be able to capitalize tonight against Ottawa.
Yeah, Peter Horachek loves to work down low between the circles, creating the chances. But as you said in your Service America plan of the game, you got to make them count. Nice stick there by Goodbranson. Boys shoots in. Craig Anderson out of the net. Plays it to the corner quickly. Boys on his man, and Bergenheim takes away. Back around for Brad Boys. Cowan is with him. Boys trying to shake free. Help from Barkov. Up to the point, Dylan Olsen with a shot. Glove save by Anderson, who popped out top of the blue paint.
And for the Panthers, 73 shots on net the last 2 games. If you continue that way, you're going to be able to get that goals for the Panthers. Just got to be able to stick with it. Put a lot of traffic at Craig Anderson. Anderson has struggled lately. The goaltending for Ottawa, not where it was last year. Last year, Anderson led the league in goals against average and save percentage. He did miss 18 games last year, but had a really good year last year. Hasn't been able to follow it up so far this season for Ottawa.
Matthias with Barch and Hayes now. There's a big banging 4th line, or it should be. Peter Horachek likes Jimmy Hayes. That rare ability as the puck goes out of play, Billy. The size and the skill combo for Hayes.
Good size up front for the Panthers. Hayes can skate. Bjugstad can skate. Sean Matthias can skate. So you got some big bodies. Got to be able to work the Ottawa defenseman down low. Put a lot of pressure on the D-man.
Barch off the draw with some good work, but then he lost an edge. Zibanejad over to Carlson. Conacher fires it ahead all the way down the ice. No icing. And Mike Motto, the veteran, back in the lineup, takes the hit, makes the play. Weaver moves it around, but Carlson on the pinch. And the center is able to hold it in. Motto will try again. Knocked down by McCulloch. Free puck in the high slot. Here's Conacher. Hands it over to Carlson. Nice play by Weaver. And then another one by Mike Weaver. Strong effort to deny the scoring chance. Carlson right up there in the play, Billy. He is not shy.
27 points on the year. Carlson will jump up. If you're a winger, you have to have your head on the swivel.
Gotch is in. Out in front, Fleischman redirected wide. Zach Smith off the boards. And now on the second attempt, Ottawa clears. Bouncing puck at center ice now, taken back by Jesse Winchester. Chris Phillips, his former teammate, with the bump. Fleischmann settles it down, backhands ahead Gotch. Offsides the calls. That puck came over the line with Winchester in the zone.
Mike Weaver defensively. Ottawa can score goals. They come into this one 8th in the NHL in goals per game, but Mike Weaver reading the play perfectly. Look at that stick in lane, selling out that body, and he's not done yet. Another second effort. This is what you like from defensemen. Mike Weaver's not very tall, but he has one of the longest sticks on the team. If you ever saw a stick, and he used it to his advantage there as he gets a couple sticks on pucks, finally clears the zone.
And another stoppage here, nearly 3 minutes in. Last time these two teams played, Billy, by now the Panthers are already down 2-0. They had that rough start in Peter Horachek's first game in Ottawa.
And quick start. Ottawa can score goals, as I just touched on, 8th in the league in goals per game, but they give up a lot. They're 27th in goals against, so it's kind of yin and yang for the Ottawa Senators. Panthers tonight, if they work at it, they will get plenty of chances against their goaltender.
Bobby Ryan with those 13 goals, a surefire member of the U.S. Olympic team, moves it ahead. Turris is in with a shot. Thomas with a big save on Kyle Turris.
2-on-1, and smart play by the defenseman Campbell. Watch 51 Campbell in the middle. He's going to go and take the other man and leave the shot for the goaltender from the sharp angle. And that's how you play a 2-on-1. Campbell pressured, then backed off and left the shooter for the goaltender, which is the right move. Thomas able to make the save on Turris.
21 points in 27 games, and Turris has those wheels. That's the second time he's broken in early in the game. Carlson up at the line, flips it to Clark MacArthur. His shot was blocked by Barkov. McDodd held it in. Goodbranson jams up his man, allows Brad Boyes to clear. Bergenheim after it. Clark MacArthur there ahead of him, though. And here comes Carlson, moving his way to the red line. Feeds the wing. MacArthur's shot saved by Thomas again. Now we talked about the change on the blue line made by the Panthers tonight, and Billy, the recent struggles for Dmitry Kulikov. Peter Horachek said, this is part of the process, taking accountability, and you got to learn from it. Mike Motto's back in tonight.
And for Dmitry Kulikov, just too much inconsistency. Peter Horachek said he can be good and bad on the same shift, and a little bit bad of late. So Dmitry Kulikov gets to watch tonight. And sometimes it's not bad for a player just to sit up high and watch a game and get back in the lineup and hopefully make a difference next time he gets a chance.
Gryba. And now over to Cowan. Up ahead, Zibanejad. Gets over the Panther line, throws one wide of Thomas's net. Jimmy Hayes able to clear ahead, but couldn't find Matthias. Now up ahead for Hayes. Barch on the wing. Knocked away by McCulloch. A little more than 4 minutes in. Panthers, 2 huge games tonight and Thursday against Winnipeg. Still with a chance for a winning homestand, and one that they desperately need. Penalty coming up here.
It's going to go against Panthers. Panthers will be short-handed. And it's going. Mike Motto will be in the box.
Number 22, scored out 2 minutes of scoring.
Ends up being an interference call. Just steps in, no puck there. You can't step in like that. The arm goes up immediately, so the Panthers will have to kill an early one. Ottawa's power play very good on the road. Second in the NHL on the road, and they come into this one very good. 7 for 20 in their last 4 road games on the power play.
And having Carlson back there at that point, 12 of his 27 points have come on the power play. Panthers won the draw but couldn't get it out. Ace underwriting brings us this penalty kill. Nice work by Winchester. Free puck. Rolling now in front of the net. Nice tip there by Campbell. Carlson peels over to the boards and then threw it back up high. Nobody home. Upshaw jumps on now, along with Matthias. Of course, the Panthers continue to miss Thomas Kopecky, out for the 5th straight game with an upper body injury on the penalty kill. Carlson put it to the corner. Matthias and Goodbranson work the boards. Goodbranson's got it, knocked off his stick. And now a penalty, and this one's going to go on Ottawa. Goodbranson was a little slow getting up there. Delayed call. Panthers will get the skater on, negating the Ottawa power play. And the longer the Panthers control this puck, the more time they'll have on their power play. So No rush at all. And Dylan Olsen, smart. He knows it.
Smart. They just hang back here as long as they can. Just let that time work off the clock.
Why not?
Just stay there. This is really, Ottawa's just sitting back. This is bad by Ottawa. Not sure why they're not pressuring the puck. Panthers circle back as much as they want. Another smart play by Fleischmann.
They could kill the next 45 seconds and get a full 2 minutes.
Just make sure you don't throw it back into your own net. The passes, just make sure when you're turning back, the passes are on the tape.
Yeah, great point. Campbell now finally under pressure. So the Panther power play, because of that pretty heads-up play, will be a minute 22 at the end of this 4-on-4, barring any other calls.
They killed off a good 35 seconds with that puck, so really smart hockey there by
Number
the Panthers.
68, Ottawa, 2 minutes for high sticking.
Tremendous work down low by Goodbranson. Able to take that stick up in the face, right in the chops, and you can see the reaction. That did not feel good. So Hoffman into the penalty box. Hoffman playing his first game of the season. Only 4 NHL games for him. Was a teammate of Jonathan Huberdeau back in junior hockey with the St. John Sea Dogs.
5th round pick back in 09, making his way to the NHL. Boys in the corner with Zach Smith. Sends work it free. Joe Corbo, though, couldn't run cleanly out of the zone. 4-on-4 hockey. Senators were looking to go with that open ice. Brad Boys. A late pickup by the Panthers during training camp, has been productive with his 8 goals. Anderson plays it behind his own net. Ooh. Try to get it to Spezza off his stick. No harm done. Spezza moving in. Corvo now on the wing. Out in front. Hit the flex up in the air, and Thomas got run over. And another penalty coming up on Ottawa. It's going to be goalie interference on Spezza, and the Panthers are going to have a 5-on-3 now.
So now the Panthers look to be in trouble as Motto went to the penalty box, but 2 consecutive penalties to the Senators give the Panthers a 5-on-3 man advantage. This time Spezza just runs into the goaltender. Some concern for Ottawa coach Paul McLean. Got to be careful and just charges into that blue paint. You can't do that. You can't make contact with the goaltender. And now the Panthers with a golden opportunity.
Power play perked up a bit late in that game. The last 2 power plays anyway against Pittsburgh, but 5-on-3. Huge. Bukestad and Barkov, along with Huberdeau on the ice. Fleischmann and Campbell. 4 forwards out there. Campbell setting up. Barkov camped out in front. Bukestad with the puck. Fleischmann's pass deflected by Turris. Back for Campbell. And now it's Huberdeau into the act. Campbell switch spots with Fleischmann. There's the one-timer. Save. Rebound in front. Score! Jonathan Huberdeau on the power play, and the Panthers strike first.
And a couple Panthers that were struggling on a 5-on-3 get on the scoreboard. Fleischmann with the assist. Huberdeau with the goal. You have to be able to capitalize when you get a 5-on-3. And the good news is they scored early. Still have a minute 39 left on the penalty to Spezza. You can see the cross there by Campbell. That allows Fleischmann to be on his one-time shot. As those 2 cross, the quick rebound. Anderson can't get it. Jonathan Huberdeau on the doorstep gives the Panthers the lead.
6th of the year for Huberdeau. Fleischmann and Campbell on the helpers. And still plenty of time, as you mentioned, Billy, scoring quickly on a 5-on-4 advantage now. And oh, is that big? Barkov on the shoot-in. Condra hustles back. Bergenheim in tow. Bergenheim knocks it free. Then checks Zach Smith. And the Panthers able to win the battle. Campbell moving in, up tie. Fleischmann shoots, blocked away. And Condra will get out. Been a long time coming for Thomas Fleischmann. That pointless streak that he had going there for a while, but he gets on the score sheet.
And it's amazing what an assist like that will do for your confidence. I know it's not much, 5-on-3, but you get that assist, all of a sudden that stick will feel a lot lighter for Thomas Fleischmann.
Turris in the corner, jammed up. Panthers win the battle, coming out in front, trying to get to the backhand, and Boys got buried. Anderson goes down. He lost his helmet as well. Boy, Brad Boys won that battle. Anderson slow getting up as he got clipped in front. What work by Boys?
Mano a mano. Boys able to walk out that corner. As you're going to see the battle in the one-on-one. You win the individual battles and then take it hard to the net, young man. digs it out of him, and then just takes it right to Anderson. He has a goal there. Good play by MacArthur coming down. If MacArthur doesn't come down there and make that hit against Boyes, Boyes will have an empty net, so a strong play at the end of it. But MacArthur taking it hard to the net against Anderson, and Anderson still getting looked at. There's a little bump on that noggin. I think he'll be okay.
What's he doing with the hair there, Andy? Trying to...
He's got the Steve Goldstein haircut.
Well, no,
you
he
guys
has
go
some...
to the same barber.
He has some up there. What's he trying to pull? It's not going to fill in, Andy. I got to tell you, buddy. Not for... No, for Andy, it's not filling in. Come on, man.
Leave the poor guy alone.
That horse was out of the barn a few years ago. He knows it.
Just like you. You just went, you knew it.
Forget it.
You lived with it and cut her down.
One of the good guys ever played for the Panthers, Craig Anderson. Happy for his success. Had some big moments with the Panthers. Remember that 53-save shutout he had on Long Island against the Islanders that day? Phillips off the draw, stolen away by Huberdeau. Oh, but it came out of the zone. So still 34 seconds left on the power play. The Panthers Figure Skating Club is hosting its 16th annual holiday show. This year's theme, Billy, a tribute to the Olympics, comes up this Friday at the BB&T Center at 7 o'clock. You can get tickets at Saveology.com's Iceplex. Online as well for $20 or $25 at the door that night on Friday. Panthers trying to get set up here with time left on their power play, but Carlson with a nice play got rid of it quickly. Huberdeau's 6th of the year for the Panthers on a 5-on-3. Gives the Panthers that all-important first goal of the game. Campbell on the shoot-in. Bjugstad after it, but couldn't hold control. McCulloch with Huberdeau, and Huberdeau works it free for Gilbert. Down low, Upshaw, open man, Campbell in front, shoot, score! Another power play goal. Upshaw sets up Campbell. 2-0.
1 second left on the penalty to Spezza. Give him a little bit of the high cheese. Campbell with the power play goal, and the Panthers have that 2-0 lead. Good battle. The Senators are going to overcommit. 4 guys over. You can see Carlson way over to Campbell, and then just stop here. Watch Campbell's head, and watch him pick up his head and look where he's going to shoot the puck. That head is up the whole way. He knows exactly where he wants to go, and he roofs it on Anderson. The emotion at the end of it, the Panthers have a 2 spot on the board.
Oh, is that huge? So suddenly now the Panther power play has converted over the last couple games, 3 out of its last 4 times. Amazing how the Tide can turn.
Campbell's had a really good start to this game. He's made 2 really good defensive plays on 2-on-1s, and there's that goal. When you watch Campbell shoot the puck, he's the one player picks his head up the whole way, even when he's taking slap shots, and he knows exactly where he wants to place that puck.
4th of the year for Campbell. Upshaw now has a 4-game point streak. And in 12 games under Coach Peter Horacek, Scotty Upshaw has 10 points. So his hot November does not end here in December. He starts it off well. Boy, Campbell had all kinds of room, huh?
Brutal play by the Senators. They commit 4 guys to one side of the ice. They had 4 guys over on that left-hand side.
And we'll get an offsides call here. 10:47 to go. We're in the first period. Brian Campbell on the power play, following Jonathan Huberdeau's power play goal. The Panthers are off and running.
How much ice is open? No one in front of the goaltender. That is just sloppy by the Senators, as Campbell has all kinds of time, and he goes upstairs. The Senators are allowing a lot of goals. They've allowed 4+ goals in 6 of the last 8 games, and killing a penalty. They send 4 guys to one side of the ice and just can't do that. Good job by the Panthers finding the open man as they get that power play goal by Campbell.
Huberdeau and Campbell on the goals. The primary assist for Fleischmann and Upshaw. And here comes Scotty Upshaw. Motto try to handle it center, could it? Zibanejad, and get a whistle here back in behind the play.
And that power play for the Panthers, so big, and you get a couple early power play goals, and all of a sudden your confidence just changes a lot. Peter Horacek and Panthers came out with good starts in games against the Rangers, against the Penguins, just didn't get rewarded on the score sheet. Tonight, they get those power plays, you get rewarded, and all of a sudden the outlook right now, much more positive for the Panthers.
The amazing thing is, Billy, in those games, they started off dominating, and they got power plays, and it completely went the other way. The momentum just turned in the opposite direction.
Special teams are so big in this league.
Bergenheim throws one on goal. Stick save for Craig Anderson. Bergenheim again out in front. It came right through the slot. But when Bergenheim's attacking and skating like that down low, he creates a lot of chances. Knocked out of the air there by Hoffman. If he touches, it's a high stick, so he's trying to wait. So is Turris. And finally, the play will continue. The Panthers got to it first. Barkov cross ice off the stick of Boys. Turris over the Panther line. The feed behind Carlson. He gathers it and throws it out in front. It got on goal. Tim Thomas was there. Panthers have staked Thomas to a 2-goal lead here in the first. Turris leans on Boys. Good effort, though, by Brad Boys to shoot in.
Talked to some of the Ottawa people this morning, and they said, I was talking about Craig Anderson and why he's been struggling, and he said they've just left their goaltender out, hung out to dry too many times, and that was the case in that Campbell goal.
Olsen fires, blocked down by Anderson. Oh, for sure, Brian Campbell walked in from the top of the circle, and I mean, nobody near him. Spezza, up ahead, MacArthur, out in front, Spezza. Thomas pops out of the net, and will smother it with the glove. Panthers lead 2-0. We're coming right back.
Welcome back. Panthers up 2-0. I'm Drew Goldfarb here ringside. Scotty Upshall has an assist on that one of those Panthers goals. That's great news for the Cats. They're 12-4-5 all time when Upshall has a point, and 8-0-3 when he's got an assist in his career. That's nothing new either in his career. His team's 93-37, 1-27 when he's got a point. A couple games under 500 when he does it, guys.
Well, he's been a key factor. Thanks, Drew. Certainly. And boy, at about a point a game over the last month. What a run. Corvo floats one towards the net and he scores. Tim Thomas never saw it. And Joe Corvo gets Ottawa right back to a 1-goal game.
Never a bad play to shoot the puck. Joe Corvo able to cut the lead in half. Only his second goal of the year, just kind of a floater. Panthers good shape defensively. Just through a maze of bodies. Wrist shot, and to, like you said, Tim Thomas just never does pick up that puck. Just floats right to the top of the net. Tim Thomas back in that blue paint, and you can see that he never did pick up that puck. And Joe Corvo has goal number 2 on the year for him. And the Senators able to cut that lead to 1.
And a huge goal for Ottawa, 2:36 after the Panthers made it 2-0 with 2 goals in less than 2 minutes. The Senators answer back. Cowan races over to the puck. And then it's chipped out. Here comes Zach Smith with Neal going to the net. Smith with a shot, pad save. Rebound, Thomas got it again. Boy, the Ottawa Senators in transition in the first 11 minutes plus. They've had a few of those types of plays where basically 2-on-1s developed.
3 odd man rushes. 2-on-1s, you can't have that. Got to be able to shore that up. This Ottawa team's got some talent up front. You can't give them 2-on-1s all night, so got to be better communication when the D go down from the forwards. The forwards have to be there in support.
Gilbert turns it ahead for Huberdeau, who's got a goal tonight. Cross ice. Bjugstad peels back to his own line. He hits Huberdeau in stride. Huberdeau drops it for Upshall. Return pass. Huberdeau checked by Greiba. Got a stick on it. Cowan battling Bjugstad. Upshall steps in and plays the puck. Now it's Bjugstad again, trying to lose Cowan. Bjugstad uses the big body, gets out in front. Here's Campbell setting up Upshall. Oh, what a save by Anderson. He got it with the left leg stretched out. Huberdeau in front. Another stop by Anderson on Bjugstad. 2 unbelievable saves by Craig Anderson. Panthers still at it. It's Upshall again. Up high and Ottawa clears. And look out. Here comes Conacher in on Thomas. Blocker save. Back and forth we go. What a first period this has been offensively. That Bjugstad, Huberdeau, Upshall line. Boy, it looked like they had one for sure.
Couple scintillating saves by Anderson as he stretches out. One time with the left pad, the other time with the right pad. Full flexibility, full splits down low to Rob, Upshall, and Bjugstad.
Well, for both teams, Billy, you get the feeling this game, at least from the coach's standpoint, it's way too wide open. Neither coach likes what's happening defensively.
It hasn't been sharp on the defensive end.
Bobby Ryan turns it over. Boys makes his way over the line to give to Bergenheim. That one just missed wide. Barkov won the battle. Goodbranson shoots. Tipped away into the corner. Carlson gets the puck to center. Hoffman moves in. Stick save by Tim Thomas. Free behind the Panther net. Put out in front. Boys is there. Gets it to center. Mathot. And now Carlson again. Waits for the Sens to get their change.
This Ottawa team's all over the map, though. Panthers doing a good job working down low.
MacArthur is in. Centering feed. Bouncing puck. Thomas got a piece of it. Condra went hard to the net. Fleischmann couldn't knock that one down. Greening plays it around for Condra. Winchester worked it free, and Brian Campbell, along with Gilbert, back on D for the Panthers. Winchester chops it in. Anderson off those two big stops. Spezza back for Corbo. Cut off by Gilbert. Now Brian Campbell. Tipped in by Barch, who gets on his horse. Mathot there first. Condra's lead pass. Greening looking to track it down. Goodbranson blocked the puck. Matthias hustles over. It's played right back deep into the Panther zone. Thomas will move it along. Broken stick there behind the Panther net. And Goodbranson up ahead through center. Couldn't get it to Hayes cleanly. Carlson is back. Hayes right there with him. And now Barch joins in. Carlson works it free. Played around the boards. Weaver on the pinch. And let's see, we're going to get a call here.
Holding call. So it looks like the Panthers going to be down the man. Jimmy Hayes is going to go to the penalty box. Panthers will be short. Craig Anderson with a couple of brilliant saves. The last one on Bjugstad. We'll be back. Hayes in the sin bin for holding. Panthers shorthanded late in the first period. In hard on the forecheck. He's going to take his free hand off and wrap up Carlson. And got to be able to just get in there and put your shoulder into him. You can't reach out with that arm and grab the defenseman. Panthers get caught, so they will have to kill. One late here in the second period. Or first period, sorry. Second penalty in the first period.
It feels like there's been 2 periods played, doesn't there? It's been a wild game. Already 3 goals. Ottawa on the power play here. They're always dangerous on the man advantage. Here's Spezza shooting. Stick save Thomas. Rebounds. Zibanejad couldn't get a shot away. And set back up Phillips. Spezza shoots. Stick save again for Thomas. Right back to the Ottawa captain, Jason Spezza. Inherited the C from Daniel Alfredson, who's moved on to Detroit. The Red Wings are in town next Tuesday night for their first of 3 visits. On the goal line, Spezza shoots, and Tim Thomas read that one. The Panthers have teamed up with the U.S. Marines for Toys for Tots this holiday season. Bring unwrapped toys to the JetBlue tarmac Thursday night, and the 2 games next week against Detroit, and then Friday the 13th against the Capitals. Go to FloridaPanthers.com for all the information. Great slate of games here at the BB&T Center in the month of December. Mathot over to Turris. Mathot winds up and shoots, deflected away. Matthias got a piece of that one. And Dylan Olsen on the clear. Matthias hustling after Mathot. Ties him up, and Mathot gets it back for Corbo, who's got the Ottawa goal. Huberdeau and Campbell scored less than 2 minutes apart, both on the power play for the Panthers. Ottawa's up to 15 shots now here in the first.
They're a team. They get a lot of pucks towards the net. They're averaging 37 shots a game, or 32 shots a game, 5th in the NHL. So a lot of shots towards the goaltender already, 15.
Goodbranson nicely worked it up the boards. It rolls, and Corbo able to sweep it back in. Goodbranson tries again around the wall. Winchester moves over. Checked by Bobby Ryan. Taken by Ryan. And Turris back up to the point. Corbo lets a wrister go. That time Tim Thomas is there and will hold the puck.
Looks like special teams will be big in this game, and for the Panthers, got to be able to stay out of that penalty box. Ottawa takes the most penalties in the NHL. They've been shorthanded the most, so you will get your power play opportunities. Key for the Panthers, you just can't give those power play opportunities back to the Senators.
Zach Smith comes on for the faceoff against Marcel Gotch. Carlson stays on at the point. And actually, it'll be Conacher now in the circle against Gotch. Former Tampa Bay Lightning. Corey Conacher in front. Smith rang it off the post. Zach Smith found the puck off the draw and caught the iron. Power play continues. Gotch trying to work it free, but it's Carlson. Over to Phillips, who had to play it off the wall. Now Phillips makes a move, slides down. Phillips at the goal line, try to get it in front, blocked away. Conacher puts it behind the Panther net. Campbell is there on the backhand. Can he clear? Yes, it comes out. And Hayes is back. Panthers with a big kill to keep it at a 2-1 lead. Now out in front, McCulloch. Oh, what a save by Thomas with the glove. McCulloch with the quick release. The chances continue to come both ways. There have been a truckload of good scoring chances here in the first. Look at Carlson carrying the mail and shooting. Glove save by Tim Thomas.
This game's been wide open, and you're right. There's too many scoring chances both ways. Panthers like getting them, but you're giving up too many. Already 18 shots for the Senators. When you're loud, you got to protect down, and that's Carlson up in that play every single time, jumping up. He's tough to control.
Off the face-off. Upshaw went over to Mathad. He got the puck deep. Bouncing in front, look out, clear to the boards by Bjugstad. He'll track it down and then reverse it for Goodbranson. Up ahead, Upshaw couldn't get to it cleanly. Bouncing puck, Huberdeau finally. Lead pass for Upshaw, who tips it into the zone. Upshaw at the end boards. Spins away, Scotty Upshaw working hard. Up to the point for Campbell, who's got one already. His shot goes wide. Big Karam to Turris. And the Senators clear. Goodbranson finds Huberdeau under pressure though from Cowan, forces a turnover. Thomas makes the save on Bobby Ryan. Bjugstad clears to center. Brad Boys catches up to it. Spezza moving out of his own end. Barkov hustling back, trying to make it a 3-on-3 as the puck comes through the blue paint. Now taken by Bergenheim. Greiba got a stick in there and knocked it free. Cowan for MacArthur. Plays at the red line. MacArthur has some room, so he skates with it. Drop for Spezza. Back again for Clark MacArthur. Circling. Spezza again. Touch pass in front. Score. Condra. And the Senators have tied it up after the Panthers had a 2-0 lead.
Too wide open to start this game. Three Panthers back, but unable to stand up the blue line. And Spezza, Condra falls down, and you just don't pick up your man. Gilbert fell down, but you got to pick up your guys. Communication, two guys, Barkov and Gilbert, looking at the puck. They don't pick up Condra, and Spezza will find the open man every single time. He puts it right on the stick of Condra. And they're able to tie this game up at 2. You can see behind the net both Barkov and Gilbert focused on Spezza, and you can't do that against Spezza. He's one of the best playmakers in the NHL. If you watch the puck against him, he'll find the open man.
2-0 lead goes by the boards for the Panthers. Unbelievable. Talking to Peter Horacek this morning, he talked about defensive zone awareness, reading the play, making the smart play. Yes, we need that kind of awareness. And the mental part of the game needs to improve. You saw it there for sure. I mean, Ottawa's got 21 shots now on goal.
But the time and space hasn't been there. In the zone, there's too much time and space. You haven't been tight enough to guys. You're allowing them to make plays. And you hear that term a lot, time and space, but it's so true. You got to be able to collapse down and take that away. These Senators are allowed to walk into the zone and make some plays, and now the Panthers are starting to pay a price.
And don't forget those two great saves by Craig Anderson, and the Panthers were inches away from making this a 3-1 game. They were huge. Zibanejad and Matthias battling. Hayes there to help out. They got the clear, but Mathad flips it right back in. Campbell moves it around, and Weaver now.
And that's part of the focus.
Oh, a turnover here in the final seconds, but they couldn't get a shot off.
And that's part of being a good team. You're up 2-0. You got to realize now that we got to bear down the rest of this way. And they let the Senators back in it.
The penalty at the end of the period as well here. see if it's only on the Panthers. Yeah, you got a rough there on the Panthers. I'm not sure if it was Goodbranson, maybe. But either way, the Ottawa Senators now are going to start the second period on the power play as well.
Too many penalties for the Panthers, but after that 2-0 lead, that's when the awareness has to be heightened. You have to realize you've lost a couple games in a row coming in. You get those 2 power play goals, you have that momentum on your side, and they give it right back to the Senators, back into that room now. You're going to have to fix some things coming up in this second period. You're going to have to be tighter, harder on your man with these Senators. Too much time and space. We'll see what happens as we move forward.
All right, we got the first intermission coming up. Let's send it down to the desk.
Welcome back. Time for our breakdown here after the first period, and we'll take a look. Brian Campbell switch and stop this one. You can see the switch here. This allows Fleischmann to get open for his one-timer. The traffic in front. The big bomb. So well executed as they switch positions up top. And then roll this one, Upshall, and then just stop here. Look at Upshall get on his horse and move his feet. This is what Upshall's been doing so effectively, moving his feet hard into the corner, creates that turnover. So good work by Scotty Upshall. Good job on the power play.
All right, here we go in the second, Billy. 2-2 game, and the Panthers, Brian Campbell took a penalty as the period ended, a roughing call. So the Ottawa Senators on their third power play. Panthers certainly want to tighten it up defensively, left to kill a penalty to start the period. Cats jumped out to a 2-0 lead. The Senators answered back. Erik Karlsson up high for Phillips. Stole it away. Winchester. Zibanejad trying to catch him. Winchester goes down and could not get the shot away. Zibanejad with a good effort to stay with him and negate the breakaway. McCulloch the other way. Holds along the wall. Gave it away to Matthias.
Zibanejad comes back and looked like Winchester might have a break up top, but Zibanejad getting back there, able to break that up at the last second.
Halfway through the Campbell penalty. Brian Campbell a goal and an assist in that first period. Tim Thomas out of his net. Played it over to the boards. Upshall does the rest. Joe Corvo had the first goal for Ottawa. 2 Panther goals came on the power play in the opening 8.5. Clark MacArthur, 2 assists for him in the game. And another clear this time for Weaver, so a strong kill by the Panthers. So far, oh boy, misplayed. It's Bukestad, has a man in front, couldn't get it to him. Now turns and shoots, saved by Anderson. Oh, Fleischmann was joining and was all alone in front. He would have had an open net if the puck got to him. Mathot at the point. Gets the puck to Spezza. Spezza played it back up high for Mathot. Condra's camped out in front. The shot went wide. Condra couldn't get a stick on it. Power play winding down, and now it's done. Campbell is back and joins the play. And the Panthers kill it off, and they had the best scoring chance potentially on that power play for Ottawa.
Breakdown in communications behind the net between the defenseman and the goaltender Anderson. Left it right there for Bukestad.
Zach Smith skates in. Whiffs on the first shot, takes the second, and it comes wide. Goodbranson up the wall, unable to clear. Knocked down. Here's Chris Neal. He flubbed it, though, didn't get all of it. And Brad Boyes out to center. Boyes makes a move. Sets up Barkov. He couldn't pull the trigger. Knocked away by Greiba. Senators go the other way. Zach Smith along the boards. Up to the point, Greiba, the slap shot, deflected wide. Neal down low. Smith again. Greiba open again. Doesn't take the shot. Cowan does save Thomas. Rebound in front. Thomas again, and he's got it.
We'll take a look at our red line energy rush, and Jesse Winchester back against his old mates on that penalty kill. Very effective penalty killer. Had that step on Zibanejad, but the quick recovery. But Winchester with our red line energy rush. Good defensive play. Winchester, welcome addition back on that penalty kill. He is so effective on the penalty kill.
See the good play by Zibanejad. He was the 6th pick in 2011, only 20 years old. He already has 8 goals this season. He scored 7 all of last season in 42 games. And he has picked it up. Bobby Ryan picks up the puck. Hoffman throws it through the slot. Karlsson steps into one and whistled wide. What a blast that was from Carlson. Matthias couldn't get to it. Upshaw gloves the puck down at center. Right on that 20th anniversary Panther logo. Matthias bangs with Carlson. Olsen now back for Matthias. Carlson still with him. Matthias loses him for a moment. Matthias gets out in front. Puck knocked away. And here comes Bobby Ryan to center. Up ahead, Carlson. Big slap shot off the glove of Tim Thomas and up and out of play.
Got to be careful against Carlson. Look how quickly he goes from defense to offense. He's thinking offense every single time. You're going to see number 65, Carlson, right there with the defensive play against Matthias. And then all of a sudden, he's thinking like a forward. And this is that fourth man. He makes a 3-on-3, a 4-on-3, just like that. If you're a winger, you got to get back every single time. Thomas able to make the save.
Off the face-off, the puck free in front. McCulloch couldn't get a stick on it after Conacher got a shot away. Ottawa Senators forwards doing a good job jumping into that circle.
Yikes, this game is just wide open.
Winchester under pressure. Conacher is with him. Winchester couldn't clear. Second attempt, he did get it out. And then he wins the battle and plays the puck over to Weaver. McCulloch dumps it back in, and this will be an icing. No, the back referee, the back linesman waved it off. And play continues. Gotch sets up Campbell moving in. Now to Fleischman, the one-timer save. Rebound, it's Gotch. Try to get it back for Fleischman. And he did. Deflected now to center. Winchester overskated though. Here's a chance. Saved by Thomas up high, and on the rebound, Thomas will cover up. And then Condra got shoved down. He went head over heels over Thomas. Well, big doings at the BB&T Center this holiday season, including the Donnie and Marie Christmas show in South Florida, exclusively here this Saturday night, December 7th. Go to Ticketmaster for your tickets. Well, Billy, what do the Panthers need to do to tighten this thing up?
They just got to be able to take away. You got to be the forwards got to come back, and the gap control by the defenseman has to be tighter. They're allowed to gain entry to the blue lines too easily. They're walking over there with speed and getting all kinds of chances.
Greening shoots. Puck bounces off the wall. Barch got hooked a bit from behind. They let that go. Barch then regains in the battle and clears the puck into the Ottawa zone. Mathot checked by Hayes. He forces the turnover. Hayes gets the puck to Matthias in the corner. Matthias uses the body, turns and shoots, blocked by Mathot. Olsen gloves it down and holds it in nicely. And now it's Big Jimmy Hayes again. Matthias on the puck one more time. Up high for Barch. The shot saved by Anderson. Good shift for Hayes, Matthias, and Barch. Cross ice, Goodbranson. Out in front, shot deflected away by Greening. And finally, the Senators clear. That's the exact kind of shift that fourth line needs to produce. Use the big bodies.
And the energy, you'll get more shifts as the fourth line if you get down there, spend time down in the other team's end. But it's just energy shifts from your fourth line, banging bodies, trying to change the momentum of the game.
Cowan with a little spin move. And just did get the puck to center. Zibanejad for Conacher. Lets one go. Kicked out by Tim Thomas. Then loose in front. Panthers are on at Bergenheim. And Boys trying to break out. Couldn't do it cleanly.
Zibanejad, I mean, he's been effective, hasn't he? Getting some chances. And you mentioned, came into this one on quite a tear. Goals in each of his last 3 games for him. First time ever in his career. And getting a chance up there on that line. And he's making the most of it.
Bergenheim after a loose puck. Jammed up by Greiva. Taken down. Puck dislodged. Then we get a whistle as the net actually got dislodged. No call there. Bergenheim nearly had the opportunity. Tim Thomas under siege here in this game. Coming up big in the second to keep it tied.
All knotted up in the second. Some diligent work on the forecheck on the penalty kill by Nick Bjugstad. Some miscommunication. The goaltender rolled this. Anderson gets mixed up. Bukestad on that forecheck, and now just stop it here. Wow, look at this. If he's able to see that to Fleischman, he didn't see it. Unable there, and it was there for a second. He still got a pretty good shot off, but Fleischman came off that bench, and he was wide open. Just couldn't find him. I'm not sure if Fleischman was yelling for that puck or not, but if that pass was made, Fleischman would have had an empty net. Still a really good, hard-working shift by Bukestad.
Special teams-wise, Panthers have been much better tonight. 3 for 3 on the PK, and they're 2 for 2 on the power play. Again, Scott Gomez scratched tonight, but the bigger news, Dmitry Kulikov scratched as well. There's Bukestad of late.
Effective, and he's made an impact. Even if he hasn't been scoring, just like on that play, he's had an impact in hockey games without scoring goals, and that's a big thing for a young player.
He's on the face-off here with Turris. Not anymore. No, they'll leave him in there. Surprise, usually on that, someone gets tossed. Bukestad won it, but they'll do it again. Okay, see if the third time's the charm on the draw.
Now they got to try and fix the clock, make sure that's pointing up, make sure everything's okay. And there they drop it just quick, lightning quick.
Wow.
Get it done.
We've waited long enough. Let's go. Gilbert back in behind the net, but Turris plays the puck in front. Upshaw there to clear. Huberdeau's got a goal tonight. Up ahead for Upshaw. Tracks it down. Couldn't get a centering feed away. Upshaw working along the wall. Gives to Bukestad. Looking out in front. Puts it in front. Deflected on goal by Huberdeau, and Anderson is there. Nice work by that line.
Little cycle play, and it started with entry into the zone. They just got it down, and Upshaw again hustling in there. They're able to retrieve the puck, and there's where Scotty Upshaw's been effective. Able to protect that puck, and then Bukestad, the big body, protecting it and getting it to the net. That rebound was there for a second, but Anderson able to cut it or cover it before Huberdeau could get to it. But a good cycle shift and a good entry into the zone. Good hustle play by Upshaw to retrieve the puck.
Ottawa won the draw in its own zone. Get the clear. Corvo carrying. MacArthur around for Spezza, puts it out in front of the Panther net. Spezza again. Phillips at the point with a wrister well wide. Corvo jumping up. Pass blocked by Olsen, and look out, that one jumped up and out of play into the stands. Panthers alumni players are hosting a series of free hockey clinics, and the next session, December 21st at the Kendall Ice Arena. Go to FloridaPanthers.com for all the information. Dylan Olsen, fourth game now with the Panthers, came over in that Christopher Sneak deal. You like what you've seen out of him, 6'2", 215?
I do, and I like his poise with the puck. He's got some patience for a big guy and strong on the puck. Uses his size well.
Ryba shoots wide. Center is big in that face-off circle here tonight. And controlling the circle, and we get an icing on the Panthers. And that's what Peter Horacek was talking about. I talked to him this morning. Exactly what you said, Billy. Reading the situations, recognizing, and don't always panic with the puck. Take a look around, get the landscape of what's happening.
And he's trying to get away from the unforced errors and reading plays and getting the systems down. And it's just about making smart decisions. And just worry about your own job. Don't try and do other people's jobs, because that's when breakdowns occur.
Olsen there, unfortunately, lost an edge and went down. Zibanejad, then checked by Olsen. Conacher in the corner. Olsen gives him a shot, and the Panthers work it free, but Goodbranson's got to peel back. Finally throws it out to center, and Hayes chips in. Comes on goal, and Anderson forced to cover up.
We talked to Skrudland, too, and we said we use that phrase, keep it simple, stupid. He was like more, keep it simple, smart.
Right.
And you want the place, keep it simple, but play smart. And that was some things they added, so you just got to be able to make those smart hockey decisions and keep it easy on yourself.
Ryan Skrudland, you always know where he stands.
No in between.
No. And the same thing, Peter Horacek, we got a penalty here, and this is going to be on the Panthers. Delayed call, Neal coming in. Panthers still haven't gotten possession, and now the whistle and another power play chance, the third in a row. Well, they're opening the door for the Senators, but that's an area. Calls on the Panthers here. Motto's going to go.
Second penalty for Motto. And it was another 2-on-1 for the Senators. At the end of that, then Mike Weaver broke up.
It's for high sticking.
All right, so the high stick. And Ottawa's got its fourth man advantage of the night, living dangerously with Carlson running this power play.
Mike Motto, 22. He's going to be on the top left of your screen. He's going to come in right there at the top left and just clips him up high. I guess he caught him. I didn't really see if he got it up into the facial area.
Yeah, too quick for us. I didn't see it either. Carlson with a blast. Tim Thomas way out to make the save.
Another big penalty kill for the Panthers, and exactly to your point, living dangerously. You can't give this Ottawa power play too many chances.
The veteran Chris Phillips up ahead on the wing for Ryan with those 13 goals on the year. Carlson walking the blue line, setting up shop. Phillips try to pass to Bobby Ryan. Tim Thomas pops back up, gets back to his spot in the blue paint. Here's Carlson. Fake the shot. Turris. This time Carlson takes the shot. Saved by Thomas. Turris to the rebound, but Gotch with a good check and a clear. Gotch and Winchester paired up front now. Gotch heads to the bench. Upshaw jumps on. Brian Campbell chips it around. Weaver moves it around the boards and all the way down. Now the Panthers can complete the change.
A reversal of games we've seen recently. Special teams not very good for the Panthers recently. 5-on-5 was good tonight. Special teams exceptional. 5-on-5 has been lacking.
Spezza. And now to Corbo. He fires, blocked by Dylan Olsen. And Olsen gets to it. A nice play by Upshaw there as he fended off the Ottawa player, allowing Olsen to make the play.
And it's good for Olsen not getting tied up as a D-man in front. Playing in front of the forward allowed him to block that shot.
Zibanejad is in, fakes the shot, takes the shot. Thomas there to play it. And Matthias gets it all the way down.
Just make the initial save, no second chances. So the Panthers 20 seconds from getting out of this penalty kill. Tomato.
You say tomato. Well, you said tomato. Oh, to Mike Motto. I got you now. I wasn't sure where you're going with that.
Oh, geez.
Hey, we're in December, buddy. The dog days are seeping in. They're seeping. Although your skin looks beautiful after the avocado.
Thank you very much. Avocado, tomato,
mask your wife gave
potato.
you.
We got everything going. You're a poet. You didn't even know it.
There you go. Well, good penalty killing by the Panthers, and now Gotch with a chance, but it's knocked away. Cleaned up by Gilbert. His shot deflected. Loose in front. Huberdeau with a chance. Oh, Anderson down, got a piece of it. It was headed over the goal line, and somehow Anderson, sprawling around, made the stop on Huberdeau to keep it tied.
And that's the third big save we've seen him make with those pads stretched out. Sprawling along the goal line. Looked like Huberdeau had himself one. The battle in front, Huberdeau able to win that, and Anderson makes two saves, and that one looked like it might be going over. Does he get it with his goal stick at the last second? Nope, the pad at the end of it.
Senators win another face-off, but we're going to get a whistle, and we got a penalty in behind the play. This is going to be a cross-check. And is Upshaw going to go? Greiba's going to go as well. They're both going to go, I think. Looks like penalties both ways. We'll sort it out when we come back. We've crossed the midway point, and the Panthers and Senators remain tied.
Back, Cats and Senators tied at 2 here in the second. I'm Drew Goldfarb ringside. Craig Anderson got the start in net tonight for the Ottawa Senators. He played right here in South Florida for the Cats from 2006 to 09. Since leaving, 9-1-1 in his career against the Panthers. His last game, though, was a loss, guys.
Yeah, has had that big record against the Panthers with the Colorado Avalanche some of that time, and has found a home in Ottawa, though Robin Leonard, the backup, has been pushing him. Anderson had that super season last year and running the playoffs as well. We're at 4-on-4 with the penalties to Greiba and Upshaw. So some open space, and look out, Bobby Ryan trying to use it. Mathot jumps up from the blue line. Nice play by Gilbert to knock it away. Ryan Campbell around the boards, boys. And here comes Alexander Barkov, the 18-year-old. Barkov over the line. Feeds it cross ice. Goodbranson scoops it up off the boards. He goes in deep. Carlson stolen away by Boys. He's trying to set up Huberdeau, but he couldn't play it cleanly. Senators break out. Carlson. Dylan Olsen is back. Dylan Olsen picked Carlson's pocket. Zibanejad floats it in, but couldn't get it deep in the zone. Zach Smith is in the zone, so In order to not put the play offsides, he fed it back to his own end. Corvo under pressure, gets it away to Zach Smith. Cross ice. Zibanejad again. Smith after it. Smith with a shot. That one missed high. And here's Huberdeau. It's got Gotch up ahead. Huberdeau is in. Gotch to the net. Out in front. Couldn't get it to him for a redirection. Huberdeau again. Sets up Gilbert. Throws one into the corner. Played off the hop by Fleischmann. It's Gilbert straight on. Over to Fleischmann. One-timer. Blocked away by Corvo. Huberdeau again with the puck. Good shift for Jonathan Huberdeau. Takes a look. Huberdeau looking in front. Gives to Fleischmann. Walks in front of the net. Waits and shoots. Blocked away. And Anderson out of the net. Boy, good puck possession time there for the Panthers. And great shift for Huberdeau.
Really strong shift by Huberdeau when he's looked like he's re-energized this game. He's got a lot of pep in his step. And going to see Corvo at the bottom break his stick. Right there, he broke his stick, and that allows a little time for Fleischmann to get to that net. He goes up high against Huberdeau. And then Fleischmann had it there in the block by Phillips at the end of it. But a really strong play by Huberdeau to Fleischmann. Those two players who had been struggling much better tonight for the Panthers.
Second-year forward, reigning Rookie of the Year, Jonathan Huberdeau. Whole different ball game in year two. Everybody knows who 11 in red is now. And again, the Senators win a faceoff. That's 13 of 14. Ottawa's won in this period. Wow. And Carlson on the loose puck from the sharp angle. Throws it out high. Mathot winds and fires. Tim Thomas had it all the way. And Thomas now 30 saves already in the game. Well, the holidays are here. You can give the gift of great hockey and concerts. Package up Panther tickets with the December 20th Y100 Jingle Ball or the Billy Joel concert in January. There's two of them. Go to FloridaPanthers.com for all the details.
Well, maybe that's the recipe. The Panthers outshot the Rangers and Penguins bad and ended up on the other side tonight. Ottawa has the heavy shot total in their favor. Panthers only 16 shots, but still well in this game.
Huberdeau placed it deep in the zone. Mathot lost it to Huberdeau. Out in front, Upshall! And Anderson, I believe, got a piece of it. Again, Huberdeau with a great setup. Here's Bukestad turning and shooting save. Upshall on the rebound. Anderson is down, and now he finds it. How close is that line coming to making it 3-2? What a chance for Upshall there.
Well, Lunchbill and Hardhat, they're starting to bring the work ethic. And again, Bukestad, the pressure, good support on the wall, the quick pass. And again, no coverage in front. Carlson, the defenseman, left Upshall wide open in front over the net. And then battling again by Upshall. Upshall's commitment level in all areas so much better. And again, that shift, 3 good chances.
Wow. Anderson has come up big after the Panthers got those 2 power play goals by him in the first 8:22 of the game. Zach Smith is in. His shot stick saved Thomas. Along the boards, Neal works with Greening, and now Zach Smith shoved by Weaver. And it allows Matthias to skate out to center and chip it in. Matthias after it. Greiba there first. Good hit by Matthias. Barch plays it around for Weaver. His shot. And Anderson pops out of his net with the glove. And he'll hold the puck.
And for the Panthers, too, you got to be able to, we're talking about taking away that time and space, and just got to make sure you're tight to guys. They've been better at it. And here you go, and just look at the gap control right there. You can roll this, but how much tighter they are there walking into the zone. So that's what the Panthers have to do more of. Good defensive, strong play, but it's about gap control for the defensemen. They're able to have that, take away that time and space against these Ottawa forwards.
And we get an icing here on the Ottawa Senators. Exactly 6 minutes to go now here in the second. All our goals came in the first.
Last 4 or 5 minutes for the Panthers have been much stronger. They're starting to put some pressure on the Ottawa D's, getting some chances. And they've been led by that Huberdeau, Bukestad, Upshall line. They've been leading the charge offensively.
So Barkov try to win the draw, and he does this time. Brian Campbell under pressure. Gilbert back. Conacher charging hard. Gilbert unloads the center. And now Barkov with Bergenheim and Boyes. Gilbert gets out, trying to get to that red line, but Conacher picked his pocket. Panthers will try again. This time it's Campbell. He gets the red line and flips in. Bergenheim around for Boys. Try to get it in front for Barkov. Boys again in front. Bergenheim point blank. It's blocked. Brad Boys. Gilbert at the point. Floats one wide. Corvo up the wall. Bergenheim try to feed it back down low, but Zibanejad cut it off. Out at center. Panthers on it again as it comes into the zone. Brian Campbell with a goal and an assist in this game. Gilbert's got a helper as well. Tipped in on goal, Anderson. Plays it himself for Condra. Mark MacArthur. Dumps in. Condra. Hit solidly by Dylan Olsen. And Winchester, nice play. Here comes Gotch, leading a 3-on-2. Winchester moving in, lost the puck. Branson picks it up, saved by Anderson again. Panthers starting to carry the play, firing pucks at Craig Anderson. But he's making the stops. We remain tied.
Late in the second, all tied up, and Goodbranson a good chance. Good battle on the wall by Winchester, and then look where Goodbranson comes up on this play. Roll it, but the activity by Goodbranson, good play by Winchester, and then look Goodbranson, 44, jumping up in the play. Recognizing the odd man rush, Panther D getting up a lot more, and that ends up in the chance. So good recognition by Goodbranson. Good play on the wall by Jesse Winchester to start that play, but that fourth man on the rush creates a lot of problems.
Another face-off win. Goodbranson fires again, and Anderson one more time. Craig Anderson seems to be getting hot now.
He's hot or cold. There's no miss. There's not a lot of in-between with Craig Anderson. We've seen him at times. When he gets red hot, he can steal games. The other flip side, when he loses his confidence, he can be not very good. Came into this one struggling, but right now making some big saves.
Mention that game where he had 53 saves in the shutout for the Panthers against the Islanders some years ago. That record was broken in 2012 last year by Mike Smith of Phoenix. So it's the second most saves all time in a shutout. That game in Nassau Coliseum in 2006 for the Panthers against the Islanders. Tim Thomas put it out to center on his own. Played right back over the Panther line. Weaver for Upshaw. Boy, Upshaw, Huberdeau, and Bukestad. What chances here in the second they've created.
What they do is they move their feet. They've been active moving their feet. Coaches will tell you when you're stagnant, you're not doing much, but these three players moving their feet, creating a lot of problems on the forecheck, creating turnovers, getting their chances.
Zach Smith try to get out. Blocked. Here's a chance. Upshaw lost an edge. Huberdeau went off the ice. Bergenheim jumped on and went to the net. The Upshaw shot is then stopped.
This line's starting to feel it. All created through that work ethic.
This is the best Huberdeau's looked in a while, don't you think?
With the puck, yes. But for him, it's about being actively involved, engaged in the play. I think right now for him, his line mate is a great example to learn from. Scotty Upshaw. Just watch the way Scotty's playing. Huberdeau plays like that. He's going to get that, but I think I go back even to that first goal. You get that goal, it lightens up the stick for Huberdeau.
Campbell waits for everyone to get on sides, then rings it in. Barkov for Gilbert. Knocked down nicely out of the air. But the Senators couldn't get through center cleanly. Turris now over the Panther line. Goes wide. Gilbert watches him. Boys got it to the point, not out. Three behind the Panther net. Campbell with Bobby Ryan. Barkov there to help. Again, it's Carlson sending it in front. And Ryan had to go off his stick. Clear to center. Barkov trying to pick his way in. Barkov is in. Plays it behind the net for Bergenheim. Puts it out in front. Boys trying to get to the puck, but knocked away, and Hoffman sends Zibanejad to center. Rolls on goal, and Zibanejad, skating hard, forces Thomas to freeze it. The new season of The Ultimate Fighter is powerful, relentless, epic, and just getting started. Catch the show critics say delivers the goods and see why Ronda Rousey and Miesha Tate are called the best new rivalry in sports. An all-new episode is tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1. a little ultimate Ronda Rousey?
Some tough girls right there.
Don't want to meet her in a dark alley, would you? Here's a shot from up high by McCulloch.
You might think you want to for a second, but after that,
no thanks.
Could turn a little ugly.
Conacher. Checked by Matthias, and Matthias is going to go. Penalty on the Panthers again here. And that is the fourth straight power play for Ottawa. And this one comes late in the second period in a tie game.
The rest have been active tonight. They called it close at times. Matthias not happy with the call.
Number 18, for holding.
Let's just see. It ends up being a holding call. I don't think I like this one either. And you can see Peter Horchek. That look for him explains it all. Where's the holding there? It's a push in the back. Don't like that call at all. I disagree with it. And Sean Matthias had a right to be angry with it. And the ref's calling it close. That one should have been a no call. And the Panthers now, only 2 minutes, 22 seconds left in the second, have to kill that unfortunate penalty.
Well, 5 of the last 6 minors have been on the Panthers. Method and Carlson up at the points. Carlson sends it through the slot. Spezza, Method right on the line. Here's Carlson moving in and shooting. He missed the net again. Carlson leads all defensemen in the NHL in scoring with 27 points in 27 games. Thomas will hold it.
And the Panthers too, this penalty killing group's been better and they're staying tighter in that box. Talked to Brian Skrulin about killing penalties and said we need to be tighter in the box, not running around trying to keep things to the outside, and that's been the case for the most part. Senators have not been able to penetrate the middle of the ice.
Campbell goes off. Goodbranson on the ice now. Bukestad will take the face-off. Olsen out there as well. And free in the circle. Bukestad got a stick on it. Carlson plays it at the line. Fleischman, the other Panther, out there on the kill. Jason Spezza. Carlson straight on. Back for Spezza. Cross-ice pass. Method kind of handcuffed there. Didn't get a good shot away.
Another important penalty kill for the Panthers. Get through it.
They've killed off the first 4 Ottawa power plays tonight. Erik Karlsson glides through center, picks his way over the Panther line, plays it to the boards for Ryan, who rings it around past Turris, though. .55 seconds left on the Matthias penalty. The veteran Chris Phillips. Lead pass broken up. Karlsson cleans up, though, and an offsides call. Turris with a rough shift. He was in the zone early.
And for the Panthers, too, just trying to keep everything to the outside, and you want to stay tight. And what you'll take a look at here, if you can just stop and see him just stop here. You just want everything tightened in. And you can roll it again, but that box, you can see everything to the outside. Everything is tight, and the Senators, everything kept to the outside for the Panthers. So really nice job by the Panthers there, staying compact.
Corbo around for Greening. Phillips under pressure. Gotch right there with him, trying to force that puck out, and he does. Winchester in a race with Smith. Smith got there first. And here comes Greening back over the Panther line. Drops it off for Smith. Corbo again. He's got a goal tonight. Here's a wrist shot. Knocked down in front, and it goes in! It hit Greening in front. That's the second goal when Corbo has just wristed one in front. And for the first time tonight, the Senators have the lead.
Well, for Corbo, some good things happen. Just getting pucks to the net. Colin Greening in front. Looks like he's going to be credited with the goal. And for the Panthers there, you got to say you're in pretty good shape. The traffic in front, 2 bodies in front, and it just bangs off Greening, goes high in the air. Neal was there as well. Just really an unfortunate bounce. Tim Thomas unable to pick it up, and it just floats into the net. So Senators get 2 goals tonight, just wristing pucks in the net. Goes off Colin Greening in behind Tim Thomas, and this will be taken a look at.
Yeah, the Panthers were speaking to the officials. They said, hey, of course, we had the goal last game taken away from the Panthers that Boyes scored. They ruled that he kicked it in. So I think the Panthers were saying with that fresh in their minds, hey, let's take a look at this thing. But right now, the Ottawa Senators with the lead. Let's take another look at it. Is it a kick by Greening. 14.
Watch the kneecap. Moves the knee in. You know, if he's trying to kick it the wrong way. That's the only thing. He didn't kick
Well,
it.
the foot was moving towards the net.
Well, he's had the knee up in the air. I don't know. Distinct kicking motion. Trying to get that up.
They took away the boys one the other night, who clearly never saw the puck, right? Everybody agrees on that. Boys said after the game. I don't know.
Well, I think he's lifting up his knee. I don't see the exact distinct kicking motion.
He's not trying to, yeah.
Yes, I think this one would be tough to overturn. It's kind of a deflection in front. And if the kicking motion, it was more going the other way than actually towards Tim Thomas. So I don't think this will be much of a discussion, unfortunately.
And it was a quick decision.
After review, the call on the ice, Stem. It's a good goal.
Yeah, that one would be extremely tough to overturn. And Colin Greening, only one goal his last 21 games. Gets his second goal. Greening had 25 goals the last 2 years combined. Only had one goal this season coming in. And he gets the power play goal to put the Senators in front.
All those chances for the Panthers. Anderson held the fort. And then on the 5th power play of the game, Ottawa able to cash in. A real tough call as well on Matthias there, but nonetheless. Boys works it back up high for Campbell. Didn't get all of the slap shot, but it's picked up now by the Panthers. Here comes Gilbert moving in and shooting wide. Bergenheim bottled up with McCulloch. Campbell able to play it out in front.
Tough call. It was an awful call. That was a bad one. They missed that one. They usually do a pretty good job for the most part. That one there, I think, was on the referee. Really unfortunate against Matthias, and Panthers unable to get out of that penalty kill alive. So Senators get that late goal by Colin Greening. They're able to extend the lead after 2 periods. So the Panthers going to have to find a way in this 3rd period to mount a comeback. So for the Panthers now, they were better too, 5-on-5, and that penalty there, unfortunate against Sean Matthias. They're going to have to get a lot of pucks. Craig Anderson's been playing well for the Senators, so finding a way in this 3rd period, Panthers go to that dressing room to regroup.
To our numbers, you see Tim Thomas has stopped 33 shots. Ottawa had 21 in the 1st period, so limited a bit in the 2nd. The Senators get that, no other way to say it, that go-ahead goal's a lucky goal thrown in front. It hits Greening in the knee, and then it pops in. The second one, Corbo threw in. But in that face-off circle tonight, the Ottawa Senators have done a number, led by Turris and Spezza. Turris has won 11 of 15, Spezza 7 of 8. So here we go in the 3rd, a period that has been successful for the Panthers. Top 5 in the league in goals in the 3rd period and a number of comebacks this year. Zach Smith fighting his way through into the offensive zone. Smith tried a centering pass stolen away. Fleischmann up ahead for Boys and the shoot-in. Boy, Craig Anderson's made some super saves on the Panthers who've had glorious scoring chances. Have to find a way to beat them here in the 3rd. Ottawa in the game, Billy, I'm sorry, after the penalty, or after the icing, has had 5 power plays in the game.
Too many. Got to be able to elevate pucks, but good defensive play, communication, going to roll. You're going to see Campbell right here getting in now, and just stop here. Look at the entry, and then Campbell goes to his man. Good communication as they switch it up. So Campbell had that, but there's some good communication, and there's taking away that time and space again. So good communication on the entry by the Senators, and the Panther defense able to shut that down.
Some good hard work by Upshaw and Bjugstad off this face-off. Bjugstad forced out of the outside. Now Olsen shoots, blocked by Neal. Bjugstad again, able to hold it in. Corbo after the puck. Huberdeau is with him, forces the turnover. Greening and Bjugstad along the boards. Corbo in there as well. Finally, it's Greening who has the go-ahead goal. Turris on a loose puck over the Panther line. Bjugstad lost his stick. It was stuck in Turris's equipment. Upshaw up to center. Places it deep in the zone and goes after it. And gets there first. Takes the hit from Turris. Scotty Upshaw has an assist in the game. Another point for him. Then he's put down by Turris. The thought, Ryan fires in. Gilbert moves it for Brian Campbell. Goal and an assist for Campbell. The 2 power play goals, Huberdeau and Campbell, came early in the game. Barkov has a lane, moves in, the feet on the wing, tipped away. Barkov then threw it to the open side, but nobody there. 2 minutes into the third. Barkov again with possession. Nice feed for Bergenheim. Slides a pass to Hayes. Back for Bergenheim. His shot goes right through the blue paint. Hayes shoots, it's blocked away. And Condra breaks over the Panther line, stolen by Goodbranson. Now Spezza up high. Cowan on the backhand. Hit the stick of Condra. Cowan again. Spinning. Hayes with a solid hit on MacArthur. Still free in the Panther zone, though. Greiba going to pinch in. Weaver trying to find it. Fleischman pinned to the boards by Greiba. Goodbranson hustles over. Conacher right off the bench joins the play. And that puck finally goes up and out of play.
Bergenheim had a chance to pull the trigger. Right between the hash marks. Strong play by Barkov. Pretty nifty pass. Look at where you're at. Right between the hash marks right there. It doesn't get any better than that. Even if he makes that pass over onto that wing, there's going to be no angle, but you're right there between the hash marks. You've got to let that shot go against Craig Anderson.
Ask Joe Corbo.
Yeah, just get shots towards the net. Good things happen. I mean, that is just the perfect scoring area.
Right off the draw, Zibanejad in behind the Panther net, rolls it around. So after that scoring chance, Ottawa now spending time in the Panther zone. Zibanejad, and now taken away. It's Thomas Fleischman. Boys is with him. Fleischman offsides.
For the Panthers here, and just in this third period, and just everything has to go towards Anderson. I mean, everything over that blue line. I mean, it has to be a shot for shoot first mentality.
Bukestad with Upshaw and Huberdeau right back out there now for the Panthers. Chris Neal, the veteran, puts it over the Panther line. Zach Smith finds it. Shot was blocked, though. Smith loses it to Upshaw. And now it's Bukestad carrying through center. Huberdeau on the wing. Huberdeau cuts to the middle. Huberdeau in the lane. Shoots blocked away by Corbo. Picked up by Olsen. And we get a penalty. And this is on the Senators. Anderson is down. He's banged up. I'm not sure why the whistle blew. Olsen had an open net, though, and hit the post.
Dylan Olsen had the chance of a lifetime coming down there to tie this up. Anderson was hurt. He was out of the play. They didn't blow the whistle until, though, after the Olsen shot. Olsen still got his shot off. Huberdeau able to walk in. Defenseman
2 minutes goaltender interference.
Oh, it's on the Panthers. The call's on Upshaw.
Look at that right there. He still missed.
That's why they blew the whistle, so the goal wouldn't have counted anyway.
It's probably good for Dylan Olsen. He would have nightmares looking back on that. And Upshaw, there's that contact up high with Anderson. That is why they blew the whistle.
All right.
The goaltender interference.
I thought it was on. I didn't see that. I thought it was on Neal. I didn't realize why Upshaw was buried in the corner, yeah. And they didn't call it on Neal after. So, I mean, this is now, Billy, this is the 5th straight power play in the game for Ottawa.
And Ottawa came in. They've been 115 times shorthanded, only had 93 power plays. So they've been on the short end of the stick as far as PK and power plays go. And the Panthers have had a big advantage. So it's been a role reversal this game. Panthers taking more penalties than Paul McLean's team, getting a lot of power plays. So 6 straight power plays for the Senators. Too much.
10 minors in the game. 7 of them have been called on the Panthers. Wow. And this is huge. Corvo shoots. Hustling over Goodbranson. Played, though, by Greening. Goodbranson gives him a shoulder. Goodbranson and Olsen back there working the end board. Scotch joins in. Neal. Checked by Fleischman, but got the puck to Phillips. Now Greening. Panthers try to clear. Fleischman for Gotch. Still can't get it out. Finally, it popped out of the zone, and that's just great work by all 4 right there.
Just able to stick with it and battle second efforts to clear that puck down. Kill valuable seconds. This is a must.
Corvo. Turris with room. Shoots. Thomas is there.
This is where Tim Thomas has been good for me in games, though. Down in the third, Tim Thomas has the ability to really tune in his focus and shut the door the rest of the way. They're going to need it the rest of the way for the Panthers. Tim Thomas right now has to be able to shut this down the rest of the way for the Panthers.
See if Matthias can win this faceoff from Turris. Forget the first two periods. This third period is what counts now, and Turris has been really good in the circle tonight. Matthias did win it. Around it comes. Brad Boyes shovels it all the way down. Matthias chasing Mathot. Mathot loses him. Turris moving down the wing. Back for Bobby Ryan. Shot blocked away by Marcel Gotch. And then Gotch with a good check. And the Panthers get it out. It's Campbell. Moving it all the way down. 4 fresh skaters on now for Florida. 45 seconds left in the Upshaw penalty. Nearly 5 minutes gone by in the third. The Panthers down a goal. Ryan rolls it around for Mathot. Zibanejad holding and shooting. Save for Thomas again. Mathot at the point. Jason Spezza. Zibanejad. And Mathot over to Erik Karlsson. With a little head fake. Throws it cross ice. Nobody there. And yes, it squeaks out of the zone. And the Senators need to reset. Ryan goes off the ice. Zibanejad under pressure from Fleischmann. Fleischmann stole the puck. Takes a shot. Saved by Anderson. And another good penalty kill.
Hard working penalty kill. Good efforts. Really good play by Marcel Gotch as he got in the shooting lane and then punished Bobby Ryan with a check. But able to get that work, and that was an important penalty kill for the Panthers to get through. So when the penalty killers needed it, they came up big.
Bergenheim forces the puck deep in the zone and is after it. Bergenheim gets there. Over to Upshaw. Bergenheim again. Tries to get in front. Chris Phillips throws the body. Barkov behind the net. Looking out in front. Sets up Upshaw. Couldn't get a clean shot off. Barkov again now. Shooting. It goes wide. Panthers buzzing after the penalty kill in the offensive zone. Free puck. Bergenheim couldn't get a clean shot off. Barkov tries to pass back to Campbell. That's deflected away. Bergenheim holds it in. Here's Upshaw down low. Takes the shot. Bergenheim backhander saved by Anderson. Campbell again. Over to Gilbert straight on. Upshaw along the wall. Panthers putting the pressure on Bergenheim. Shot came through the slot. Campbell off his glove, and finally it's out of the zone. Spezza, lead pass off of Greening's skate. And Barkov late in a shift. Plays it back for Gilbert.
Panthers able to work the defenseman down low again, and it was all started with a good entry by Bergenheim. Moving those feet. When the Panthers have gotten in there with that forecheck, they've caused problems, caused headaches for the Ottawa defenseman.
Gotch is in. Goes wide, throws it in front, sticked away by Anderson, and that one catches the netting. Panthers pushing for the game, tying goal against Craig Anderson. Senators lead by 1.
The diligent forechecking shift. Bergenheim just dumping pucks, and they've done this all night. You can roll it, and they've used their speed to get in on the Ottawa defenders. This would start a shift down in the Ottawa zone that would last about 35-40 seconds, and they would get all kinds of chances, but it all starts with Bergenheim getting on his horse, working hard down low to establish that forecheck. When the Panthers have moved their feet and gotten in on those defensemen, they've created a lot of headaches.
Upshaw, Bukestad, Huberdeau back out there now. Upshaw pulled the draw back, but played by Mathot around the wall and out. Hoffman couldn't control Goodbranson at his own end. Dylan Olsen now for Goodbranson. Looking ahead, nice feed. Upshaw gathers it in, moves with speed, feeds Huberdeau, cuts to the middle. Huberdeau settles it down, and a penalty. And another one on Scotty Upshaw. Unbelievable. This is 6 penalties in a row now on the Panthers.
Number 19, Timothy Burns.
Jeez Louise. Jiminy Christmas, unbelievable. Just trying to get out of the way, makes contact with Mathot, and they end up with the interference call. I don't think Scotty Upshaw ever sees Mathot. And then at the last second, the collision in the shoulder. So the interference call was made. Scotty Upshaw back-to-back penalties, and the Panthers just can't stay out of the penalty box.
First one, he had contact with Anderson, but That one's just tough. You're playing the game, and the one on Matthias late in the second period was anywhere from tough to just bad, as you said. Anyway, Panthers need to kill it off. Again, we've said that a lot tonight. Joe Corvo with a wrist shot. Deflected away by Olsen, and then he finds the puck. Couldn't clear. Fleischman, second attempt, couldn't get it out. And now the third try. Actually, that puck did come over the line. Play continues, though, as the Senators cleared the zone. So Fleischman did get the clear. Boy, Goodbranson just hammered one down the ice. Ottawa's 1 for 6 on the power play. Spezza cutting in on Thomas. Try to get it in front. Beauty by Mike Weaver laying down. Picked up by Phillips. He's under pressure, and he trips Matthias, and they got that one. Delayed penalty. Matthias looking for a chance. It'll negate the Ottawa power play. Good effort by Sean Matthias, and finally, the sarcastic cheer from the crowd as the call goes the other way.
Trip.
The tripping call. Paul Dvorsky starts just with a terrific dive by Mike Weaver, able to get that stick on it, and not done, but a really good strong defensive play, and then Matthias at the end of it would run down, get a hard play, force the tripping call by Chris Phillips. So good defensive play, good hustle by Matthias. 4-on-4 hockey.
And Bukestad and Huberdeau, the two forwards for the Panthers. Off the draw, Huberdeau jumps into the circle under heavy pressure. Huberdeau battling with McCulloch. Bukestad there to help out. Panthers try to hold it in the zone. And Campbell at the line does. Great effort along the wall by Florida. Campbell now setting up, moving in. Sweeping behind Anderson's net. Carlson took it away. And Carlson, slick hands right there. Lead pass broken up by Campbell. Huberdeau is back in. Puck rolled on him. Zach Smith for Ottawa. Over the Panther line. Taken away by the Cats. Huberdeau's going to get after it. Trying to beat Cowan, who's got a step. Huberdeau bottles him up. Cowan unloads for Smith. In 15 seconds, Upshaw's out of the box, and the Panthers will have an abbreviated man advantage. Knocked down by Bergenheim. Cleared to center. Dylan Olsen back at his own line. Now here comes Barkov. Picking his way over the blue line. What a move, but Bergenheim was in early. And an offsides call, 1 second left in the Upshaw penalty, and then a 50-second power play for Florida.
So here's the chance for the Panthers now. Power play, they got a couple power play goals. They finally got a power play of their own. And it's been a long time. Good run for the Senators. What about the job for the penalty killing group tonight for the Panthers? Even though they've given up the one power play goal, they've been on top of it. Now the power play has a chance to respond as we near the midway point here in the third. And Turris just got booted immediately out of the faceoff circle.
And that's big on the abbreviated power play, but Ottawa's able to control anyway. Upshaw's out of the box. The Panthers 2 for 2 on the man advantage so far. Those goals came in the opening 8:22 of the game. 4 forwards on the ice with Campbell. There's the shoot in. Anderson to play it himself. Wraps it around the boards, and Turris got it to center. 25 left on the man advantage. We approach the halfway point of the third. 3-2 Ottawa after the Panthers led 2-0 early on. Bergenheim after the puck. Now free behind the net. Upshaw knocks it away from Greiba. Barkov's got it. Back for Bergenheim. Up to the point, Thomas Fleischman. And he couldn't handle it. It came out of the zone. And that's it for the short power play. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. McCulloch flips one on net. Thomas will hold it. Panthers still in search of a game tire midway through the third. We got a good finish coming up. Panthers down a goal, Billy. Need to get pressure against Craig Anderson. They've had a number of good scoring opportunities.
They have. When they get in there, if they do get shots against Anderson, you got to go upstairs. He's covering that bottom half of the net. Defensemen have to jump up into the play.
Special teams, such a big part of the game, and for the most part, the Panthers have done the job special teams-wise tonight.
They have. They've just taken too many penalties. They got to stay out of the box. You can't take any more penalties the rest of the way.
Ottawa 1 for 7 on the power play. The one power play goal late in the second period, just 17 seconds left. That gave him the lead. Carlson able to hold that puck in the zone off the draw. Now Campbell up ahead. Brad Boyes clears. Huberdeau trying to make some moves, couldn't get in cleanly. Bukestad throws it over the line. Now the Panthers get out of the zone. Boyes trying to work the forecheck. Carlson, though. Up ahead, Clark MacArthur. Cross ice pass, picked off. Read well by Gilbert. And Bukestad to center. Huberdeau played it off the boards and then gave Carlson a pretty good shot. Boyes flushes MacArthur out from behind the net. Spezza, drop for Condra, shot gloved by Thomas, who plays it to the corner. Ottawa's up to 40 shots now. Here comes Upshall, speeding down the wing, in over the Ottawa line. Upshall with a quick shot, blocked by Phillips. Upshall again for Fleischmann. Finds an open man, but it's off the stick of Goodbranson, who is cutting in. He had a lane. Hoffman the other way. Nice check by Olsen. Hoffman pops back up with possession, though. Comes up high for Corvo. Blocked by Fleischmann. Goodbranson for Gotch. Senators have limited the Panthers. Just 5 shots here in the third. Turnover here, and Cowan puts it in front, and Bobby Ryan scores off the turnover. A huge goal by Ryan, and now it's a 2-goal game with 8:08 to go.
And the turnover and the most dangerous man on the ice, Bobby Ryan, their leading goal scorer, gets number 14. The lead pushes back to 2. They're going to get it up. Everyone thinks they're going to get out of the zone and just stop here. Look at all the Panthers now focused on the puck. And look at where Bobby Ryan is, that puck focused, and Bobby Ryan left all alone on that turnover, but all of a sudden the turnover, Bobby Ryan left all alone in front of the goaltender he has found, and Bobby Ryan gets his team-leading goal, number 14, and Ottawa has a 2-goal lead.
Boy, oh boy, that has been the story the last 3 games. Amazing. It seems like Panthers with a lot of pressure and good, the better scoring chances very often in these games, but unable to cash in. And then one comes the other way and bang in the back of the net. Unreal. Panthers trying to answer. Hayes is in. Shot goes wide. Bergenheim throws it right in front. Anderson was out of position for a moment. Barkov leaves it for Weaver at the line. Bergenheim. Cross ice, Campbell. Did not have a lane. Bergenheim behind. Out in front for Hayes, and it deflects on goal. Hayes chop it away. Going at it with Greiba.
Cowan got away with a pretty good shot, too, in front against Hayes. Nothing's going to be called. I don't think none of the referees had their arms in the air. Good response after the goal by the Panthers. Jimmy Hayes strong down that wing. Now you got to throw the kitchen sink. Everybody's got to go for the Panthers. It's amazing, though, that turnover, and all of a sudden it's back the other way and trying to find men and refocus quickly, and Bobby Ryan left all alone. And Peter Horchak, I know, some frustration.
Again, Billy, talked to him this morning. He talked about managing the game. Don't always panic with the puck. Sometimes there's time there, and know the situation. And it's always magnified, of course, when the turnover winds up in the back of the net. There's turnovers all over the place during a game.
Well, the first priority just has to get the puck out of your zone. It should be that thought all the time.
Thomas with a save. He's got to cover up as Neal was coming down. 7:05 left. Now a 2-goal game.
Our ADT defensive play of the night, and it's going to go to Mike Weaver. Seen him involved, and this is a dazzling one by Weaver. Again, selling out. He times these things so well. He's so good with his timing, knowing how to get into those passing lanes. And again, Mike Weaver able to get that stick on that pass for our ADT defensive play of the game.
7:05 left. Panthers led it 2-0 early on. Ottawa tied it in the first. The tying goal with 1:15 left in the period. They got the only goal the Senators did in the second with just 17 seconds left in the period. And then Ryan just added to the lead here. Panthers trying to answer to give themselves an opportunity late. Boys puts it in front. And MacArthur breaks out with Spezza and Kondrich. A 3-on-2. Spezza lined up well by Olsen. The shot came through anyway from MacArthur. Joe Corvo, goal and an assist tonight. Well, he's haunted the Panthers for years, hasn't he? Going back to the Carolina days?
He has, and Corvo has been in the lineup this year. He hasn't been a regular, but when he's been in, he's been able to produce some numbers. But yes, he has haunted the Panthers over the years.
I remember those games in Carolina. Corvo and Corey Stillman just to just kill the poor Panthers. I mean, wow. Hoffman moving in, throws it towards the net. Thomas has to cover up again. 5:55 to go. It's a mountain to climb for the Panthers. See what they can do late in the third.
Cleveland Clinic game recap. Brian Campbell, couple points tonight, a goal and assist. Kulikov not involved. First time in his career he's been a healthy scratch. Can see the face-off dominance by the Ottawa Senators. Clark MacArthur, 2 assists in this game, has a 4-game point streak, and that sums it up right there. The Panthers had a 2-0 lead as they scored 2 power play goals early, but 4 unanswered goals by the Senators have them on top.
Really shocking when it looked like the Panthers were off to the races at 2-zip, 8:22 into the game. Remarkable. Still 5 minutes, 45 seconds to go. But Craig Anderson has slammed that door since the 8:22 mark of the first. And Ottawa's clamped it down defensively here in the third. Panthers have had just 7 shots so far. Carlson throws it to the Panther line. Zibanejad strong on his skates. Then Upshaw finally takes him out of the play. Gilbert. Over to Campbell. Now Gilbert has some room. Walks over the line. Brings it around the boards for Bukestad. Upshaw checked down by McCulloch. Puck free, it's Campbell. Making a move and putting it behind the net. Mathot moves it around the net. 5 minutes to go. Bukestad up for Campbell. Offsides the call. Puck came over the line. Upshaw was still in the zone. We're back at it on Thursday night. The Winnipeg Jets already in town. And Coach Claude Noel watching this game from the press box. Well, they were division rivals after the Thrashers moved to Winnipeg, but no more. This is the only visit of the season from Winnipeg. 7:30 face-off on Thursday. We're on the air at 7 here on Fox Sports Florida.
Longtime captain Olli Jokinen coming back.
Big game last night at Madison Square Garden for Olli. Jets got 3 in the third on the Rangers to beat them 5-2, so they'll be coming in confident. Fleischmann dumps in. Gotch got the puck to Boys. Ooh, nearly given away in front. But Chris Neal skates the center. Lead pass. Greening is in. Nice save by Tim Thomas with the glove. That's 45 shots now for Ottawa.
And the big goal by Bobby Ryan, and you're going to see what happens here. It's not so much a turnover, but you're going to see you can roll this just a little bit. And they often comes up here. It's a line change up top. And the Panthers are late getting off. There's no winger there, and they get the inside positioning by the defenseman. So the late line change, there's supposed to be a winger up there high, and the late line change, and then everyone focused on the puck, left Bobby Ryan wide open in front, but it came down to a line change as the winger got off. The defense was allowed to get inside there and keep that puck alive, and then Bobby Ryan gets the goal in front. So again, line change is very important. That one there kind of cost the Panthers.
So you're saying that Olsen made an okay play there by throwing it around?
You expect a winger to be there, right, but the winger wasn't there because wherever the winger was getting off that ice was late, and that defenseman was allowed to be in that inside positioning. Normally you would have a winger there on the wall. You're expecting that as a defenseman, so yes, he's trying to rim it around, and the winger, I would have to look back further to see if he fell down or why he was late getting back into that line change, but late getting on, and that allowed that inside positioning for the Ottawa defenseman.
Campbell flips in. We get laid on here in the third, and that goal that you just showed made it a 2-goal game. Bergenheim goes down. Barkov trying to dig it free. Bergenheim does. Sets up Hayes, but he fanned on it. Olsen holds it in. The wrister. Saved by Anderson. He'll grab it with the glove. Craig Anderson, 9-1-1 in his career against this former team, the Florida Panthers. He's .335 away from adding to it.
He's been, after giving up those 2 early goals, he's settled down nicely. Remember going back when it was made that Bukestad big save on him, a number of them, but a couple of big late saves, Huberdeau. So settling down nicely. Anderson giving up those early 2, but he's been able to close the door the rest of the way for the Senators.
Panthers Live postgame immediately following this one. A reaction from the dressing room, the analysis, all the highlights.
And Craig Anderson and his night. And when he gets hot, he has the ability really to steal the show. And this is Scotty Upshall. Look at the leg saves he's been able to make. That was with no goal stick. Another big pad save. And you're going to see a lot of these opportunities by the Panthers. They were unable to elevate the puck. Craig Anderson, very good down low. He has quick legs, and Panthers not getting those pucks upstairs.
Bukestad working hard here down low. Gives to Olsen. His shot right on. Save by Anderson. Panthers couldn't get to the rebound. Huberdeau is right in front. 3 minutes to go. Goodbranson under heavy pressure. And here's Bukestad again. Goodbranson fires it ahead. Huberdeau try to fight through the traffic. But only white jerseys there at the blue line. Keep the eye on Tim Thomas. We'll see if Peter Horacek elects to get him out of there a little early in a 2-goal game. Nice pass by Boys. Fleischman trying to catch up to it. Sweeps it into the zone. Zibanejad, though, finds Gryba. Under pressure. Boys got a piece of it. Loose puck coming into the slot. Senators there again. And that one caught someone on the Panther bench. So we get a stoppage down at 2:17 left. Billy Joel will be at the BB&T Center. A second show has now been added January 11th. Ticketmaster has your tickets. Get them now.
When you to get the goalie out with down by 2, and look at that minute and a half, I think would probably be about the mark that you'd like to get Tim Thomas to the bench.
Well, the draw just outside the Panther line. Thomas has faced 45 shots tonight. But the Senators control the puck. Neal watches Gilbert. The Panthers need to move and need to do it in a hurry with 2 to go. Barkov moves through the neutral zone. Barkov puts it to the end boards. Bergenheim. He's shoved by Greening. Here's Hayes now. Bergenheim. Greening is right there with him. Bergenheim spins it out in front. Corvo takes away. Jimmy Hayes moving up and trying to get some offense going. Now a minute and a half. Campbell gets around MacArthur. There goes Thomas to the bench. Upshall plays it behind the net. Anderson out of his net. Panthers have the extra skater on. Trying for a late miracle. Sent in front, then clear to the corner. Huberdeau jams up with MacArthur. And the puck comes out of the zone. Goodbranson. Olsen. Gotch. And Upshall. Mathot there at the blue line, though, to knock it free. And Condra on the clear. Time running out on the Panthers here. An offsides call with 51 seconds to go.
Frustrating again, this homestand, 5-game homestand, and barring the late comeback, they're going to drop to 1-3. A lot of good things were happening on that road trip for the Panthers when they went out west there and played those 5 games. Did a lot of good things right, but home ice here, and sometimes you have a tendency to relax on home ice, but played pretty good against Penguins and the Rangers at time and never got rewarded, and sometimes that can affect the team mentally, and you have to wonder for the Panthers, struggling at times where their heads are at sometimes as they move forward, just trying to get victories. Everything has been so tough this year for the Panthers.
Here comes Fleischman. Sweeping wide out in front. Bergenheim, a save by Anderson. And another great chance, but Craig Anderson able to slam the door. 20 to go. Gilbert for Campbell. His slap shot. Anderson got a piece of that as well with the blocker. And Barkov off the stick of Gilbert. And that's going to do it for the Panthers tonight. An early 2-0 lead goes by the boards. 4 unanswered for the Senators. And Craig Anderson and Ottawa come to town and get a much-needed win and a smile behind the mask from the Senators goaltender.
Another day where the Panthers had a lot of quality scoring chances and they just didn't get rewarded. And a common theme for the Panthers, run into another hot goaltender, and that's 3. Lundqvist, it was Zadkoff for the Penguins. Now Craig Anderson's turn for the Senators, and the Panthers now. Brian Skrudland there, a little pat on the bum, but for the Panthers, fall short one more time. Now next up, Winnipeg Jets, last game of a 5-game homestand. One you have to have.
A lot coming up. Panthers Live postgame. We send it to the desk.